players today after Coach Stein will be Minchey and Bryant. And Coach Luce, make an opening statement about your
Sure.
about today, or we'll take questions.
Well, first of all, thanks everybody in this room for coming out. Really appreciate you guys covering our team over the last 4 months. It doesn't go unnoticed. Your all's hard work as well. I think you guys are doing a terrific job telling like real truths and real stories about our program, so I appreciate that. Love the fans out here today. I mean, Big Blue Nation definitely showed up, especially with half a stadium, with weather glooming, an 11 a.m. kick, so I appreciate our fans, our support as well. Love seeing the band out there. I mean, I got emotional running out of that tunnel, and I know it wasn't a real game, but when I ran on the field, I definitely, man, I felt it. It was like a lot, like a wave running over me, and very, very just cool, man. Really, really cool. So, yeah, but the game's the game. You know, it's not real football, but I think we got a lot of really good work. That's the goal of spring, is to improve with fundamentals and technique, learn how to practice, learn what winning edges that we need throughout spring to go into summer and fall and prepare the team for play. You know, we came out of the scrimmage clean. There was no injuries, which to me, that's the biggest win of the day. I could care less about the score. I could care if we come out clean, that's good. The Wildcats won. So told the team I was just really proud of their effort, their intensity, their execution throughout the last really 4 months since we got here, their willingness to be coached, and we're undefeated right now. We're 0-0. So, there's a lot of happy faces in there, and now it's all about recovery, getting everybody throughout summer to get bigger, faster, stronger, get guys to fall and fall camp, and making sure I do a really good job of setting our guys up for success come fall. So, I told Jay and Joe, be simple. So you never know. I'm not saying anybody. You don't know who's in the stands. You really don't. And we're close to a lot of people, and that's just a fact. So we huddled a lot. We hit our signals. We didn't do any special teams because, I mean, shoot, you can go on YouTube and look up spring football games throughout the country and watch what spring ball looks like in other schools. There's not a lot of broadcasted game nationally because all you do as a coach, you get the TV copy, you splice it, and you study it. So that's one reason why it was not a national televised game. So we wanted to keep it really simple. The playbook was very minimal on offense and defense, and I was just looking really to come out clean, watch the guys play hard, tackle and block. And so there's definitely good moments on either side of the ball. Got to play cleaner in spots, but that's why we practice, and that's why we have this this game. So I'll open up to questions.
What was the emotion? You said you got emotional coming out. What were you feeling?
I just like, it was just a wave, and I wasn't expecting that. I never ran out that tunnel like that, so that was really cool and unique. And just when the fight song plays, it literally just like it got me emotional, and so it was just a really cool moment for me.
Which position group was you most impressed with today?
I have to see the tape. My angle is not really the greatest angle to evaluate everybody. But I was really impressed. I felt like our edges played well and created havoc on the quarterback, and that's good to see. You definitely want to see sacks, TFLs on defense. Obviously not on offense, but it's tag on the quarterback. So I don't know how many of those Kenny would have got out of, or Ja'Kai or Brennan. So, but I thought the edges played well. The D-line played well in spots. But yeah, I'll have to watch the tape.
Will, is the Martell's Carter experiment, is that sustainable? Does he stay at running back? Or what do you see for him?
Yeah, I mean, like I told him, I'm very proud of him just for making a change. It's hard on a young man who is playing safety, and because you don't know what the future really holds. I'll tell you about this. Martell's Carter is about Kentucky. He's about the team. And what I saw every day from him was improvement. I mean, you all saw out there, he's got natural running back ability. He does. He catches the ball well. He's got good vision. So, I mean, I'm excited about the future of him at back, and we'll continue to press this summer and fall and get him in a spot to be productive for us this fall.
Well, you talked about
times we saw that a little bit today. Has that been a pleasant surprise?
Yeah, and I think he's always working on his drop mechanics. Just working through three-step drop timing with a hitch, pushing up in the pocket. Sometimes even I dealt with it some. I mean, I was a lot shorter than Kenny, but when you're trying to get vision, a lot of times guys like to get outside of the pocket. I mean, Bo Nix did it. So we worked a ton with Kenny on working through three-step drop mechanics, five-step drop mechanics from the gun, and really pushing and resetting the cup of the pocket. So I think he's working on that still, but I think just getting out there today for him was big, like the crowd, the clock. I think he operates really well. There's some throws I thought from my vantage point, like shaping it over a linebacker and pushing it down the field in spots, but I will never get mad at completions, ever. It's about efficiency of offensive football, creating first downs, and staying on the field. So as long as we can do that and avoid negative plays, I think we can, definitely do some stuff offensively.
Will, you guys looked like you ran some stuff for Kenny Darby today, and he was very involved, made a few good catches in the one-on-ones early. How important is it to show these people you're trying to bring into the program in the future? You can come in and make an impact early if you're just willing to put in the effort, show the skill, and it seems like you guys are showing it early with you.
Yeah, if you're good enough, you're old enough, So if you can come in and be physically strong enough to play in the SEC and play against other good competition throughout the country, and you've shown the ability to learn what to do, this isn't high school ball, daddy ball. Like, we're putting the best dudes out there. If you can ball, you can ball. So Kenny is really talented, really talented. He catches the ball away from his body. He's a natural ball carrier. He's got some freakish abilities that I'm really excited about.
Seems like we saw a lot of that early Rodriguez connection there with Kenny. Can you just talk about what you've seen from him in this offseason and what do you expect from him going into this season?
Yeah, I mean, Willie I've said it in here before, the guy's an NFL player. There's no doubt about it. He's got the size, he's got the speed. I think he's really worked just on his ability to catch the football, consistently. And he's a guy that looks like he's been in this system now for a long time. He learns the system really well. He can play inline off the ball. He can flex out. He can be a number one receiver out on the perimeter. He can match up against backers and safeties on the inside. So, said it in here before, if we don't find a way to get him the ball, then we're screwed up. He's a really, really good player.
Well, I don't think DJ Miller was on that list you guys Thursday. I didn't see him play much or anything.
Yeah, he had a little hamstring, really like midweek. So I was like, all right, try to get him through 7-on-7, some 1-on-1, see how he's feeling. So there's no reason to push. He's put really good tape out there the past 4 or 5 weeks. So again, it goes back to getting these guys to the fall is really, really important for us.
So RDB were down 3 or 4 of your top
Yeah,
receivers.
I mean, Nick Anderson wasn't out there. DJ Shane was in a black jersey with a upper body deal that he played through, and he's done a really good job. But it allows those young guys to go out there and play. So, it was definitely precautionary.
How much were you able to use today as just like a trial run for how you want to run game days and things like that?
Well, the pregame is not our game day operation. We'll have a completely different model come fall that we'll practice probably 2 times before we actually take the field. The pregame today was more like a spring ball, and we do that mama drill. I thought it was just a good way to compete going into the locker room and get some fan engagement as well. So the pregame will be adjusted. I'm thinking about too, I don't know, Slack, she probably doesn't even know that if she's in here, but I don't know. I mean, I want to get dressed in our locker room over there, before the game. Like, come off the field after we kick our field goal, run all the way up into the craft center, have their space in there, and then have a nice long, nobody knows this, I thought about this before the game. Have a nice long catwalk, through the crowd, then come in the tunnel and run out, be able to dab up some fans, some young kids, and engage the fans and our players that way. So that's on my mind. So I'm going to ask for that. And, but yeah, it was good just to get out there and be in Kroger Field. I mean, the wind really swirls in there, and I know the rain was coming too, but it's good for our kickers, our punters, pass catchers. So it's a great stadium, great turf, and great fans.
Seems like you guys got a little 2-minute drill there action at the end of the first half. What did you see from Kenny in that, and kind of what's your mindset going into those 2-minute drills?
Yeah, well, we wanted to do it in end of half 2 minute where we actually played the actual clock rules in football, and then we were going to do it in the fourth quarter as well. But he had the first drive or the second drive. Second drive, yeah, good operation. It went down and I believe we kicked the field goal on that one, which was good. Am I right on that? Yeah, okay, thanks, John. I knew you would know. Right? But yeah, I mean, I think 2-minute operation is all about getting the first completion and really the first down. If you can get in rhythm, put pressure on the defense, that really helps. And you don't overcomplicate a 2-minute drill. You really run like your core DNA plays that our guys could do in their sleep. So obviously got to know the clock rules and be dialed in on that, which we do 2-minute drills about every single day of practice. So that was definitely good work.
Talked about keeping it simple for the most part. We saw a little bit of flair at the end there with the Shane Hart
Yeah.
touchdown pass to Kenny Darby. Was that something you like to see? Is that something that
Yeah, I mean, you can't score if you don't try, So that was a good play. It was a fun play. I think, Joe had put that on tape before. So some of the stuff that we put out there, it's already out there. So we weren't really trying to hide those types of, plays. But tricks to me they're another play in your playbook. We don't really make it such a big deal that it gets guys on edge. You just rep it and you start it in spring and winter and just keep getting reps at it. So when you call in a game, guys can go execute.
Will, kind of given all the moving parts, new system, new personnel, transfers, everything, how pleased are you with where the offense is right now, going into the summer and fall camp?
Yeah, I mean, we're not near where we need to be to play consistent winning football, but offense is like art, it takes some time to groove and get guys going. I think I've told you guys, we have a blue and a white squad. So having a true, here's our offensive line, here's our ones. It didn't happen this spring, but that's on purpose. That's how you develop a roster. You give everybody the opportunity to come into practice and not worry about where they are on the depth chart. So what are we going to do this summer? Really continue to build repetitions at our core fundamental and base plays, base packages. And then as we hit fall, really develop that blue group as the group moving forward and the white group as the next group up. So, I think we made strides for sure. I think there's still things that we have to clean up, just fundamental and technique-wise, understanding of the system. But, I mean, I'm pleased so far. This is, I think I told maybe Pat or something, when I first got to Oregon, we had Bo Nix, we had a bunch of NFL players, and I felt like I couldn't get a first down. I was like, God dang, are we going to be good? And we had the number 2 offense in the country. I'm not saying that is where we are right now, but spring ball, the way that we do things, sometimes it can be are we good? It's no, we're good. We have a great system. We have really good players, and that's what these next 4 months are for going into fall.
Well, because of your background, so much focused on offense since you got here, what do you like about this defense and the identity?
It's super multiple. I think Jay's got a really good package. It's different fronts. You're going to see 4 down. You're going to see mint or 3 down. You're going to see some bear looks, some overload fronts. He's got really good stuff on 3rd down. They play tight match coverage. They also play some good vision zone. So it's definitely multiple. And it allows our guys to play free. They don't have to think much. So that's what I like. They really cut it loose. I think Jay's done an elite job so far of installing the base schemes. I mean, he probably ran 3 or 4 calls out there today. You go into a game with a lot more volume. So to see those guys go execute, I thought they did a nice job.
How comfortable are you with the inside linebacker coming out of the spring?
Yeah, I think they've definitely improved, right? I think Grant Godfrey is definitely a leader in that room. He knows the defense very well. I've been very pleased with Bo Barnes and his continuous improvement. I like Twan. Twan's had a really good spring. He's super twitchy. Young Tavion's still growing in the scheme, just understanding how to play at this level consistently. So, yeah, I mean, I think it's a good group. I think they have, and again, I think it starts with Grant and those guys that have been here and done a good job.
landed 5 commitments so far. Not getting into any specifics, but what are you hearing from some of these high school players? And what would you like to say to potential high school players out there about this program?
I mean, yeah, we've done a really good job of getting commitments. I always think like you win recruits in the fall. You really do. Going playing really well. Spring there's a lot of buzz, which is awesome. I think when people come here, they see like authenticity, right, from the coaching staff. They see real connection from the team. They love Lexington. They love the University of Kentucky. They love what we do on offense, defense, and special teams. Just a bunch of real dudes, man, that coach football here that, guys don't have to feel on edge talking to. Like, I don't wear like a quarter zip and like khaki pants at work. Like, I would dress like a football coach, So I think when they come in our building, they're like, man, these are just normal dudes that love ball. They love their families. They love the Lord. Like, that's what they are. And so I think that's what's really gravitating these players to here is like-minded people surround themselves with other like-minded people. And so they come to Kentucky and they're like, man, I never knew it was like this. Yeah, well, like, we're going to recruit the best players in America. Like, that's our job, is to sign the absolute best players that we can. And we're not going to back down to anybody. So I think when they get that vibe, when they have that, when they see the confidence from our entire staff and our players, then they're like, man, I want to be a part of this. So it's been great so far. Winning spring is one thing. It's about winning games on Saturdays come fall.
Well, as fans of media, we can't wait until September 5th. As a head coach, how do you balance that patience versus, hey, we still have a lot of work to do?
Yeah, we had an entire Get Real session last Wednesday on focus, and it was really about like eliminating your mindset about the past, not worrying about the future, and truly focusing on the present and being able to press reset and having a one-play focus. And it's hard. It's almost impossible for anybody in this room to be completely 100% present. It just is. But it is a daily process, and it's coach speak, it's cliche, but it is so true. Like, if you cannot be where your feet are and focus on the task at hand, like, we don't know what's going to happen in the future if we don't take care of it today. So today's about recovery for our guys and enjoying their families, enjoying their friends that came in town to watch them play this great game. Tomorrow, resetting with some treatment from 11 to 2, and then Monday, watching the tape with this coaching staff, attacking the weights, and just progressing forward. So it is so much about being in the moment. Everything's so fast now, social media, everything's so fast right at our fingertips. So just to be able to enjoy today, I had a bunch of family, I had like 30 or something people come from Louisville on a party bus, drinking a lot of beer and probably tequila and whatever they were drinking. They're having a lot of fun next door. Like, for me, like, I'm going to enjoy that. I'm going to enjoy them being here, them supporting me, my 2 kids, my beautiful wife, Darby. Like, that's what I'm trying to enjoy right now. And September 5th will be here, and when it's here, we'll be ready.
Couple more. Eric.
Go to Eric.
Different coaches. I mean, as many coaches there are, there's probably different things they look for and places they want to station themselves during spring game. What are you doing during the spring game? What are you hoping to influence on the field and see from where you are?
Well, I'm on the headset talking to both sides of the ball. I was listening to Joe call it, which, we have a lot of move the field, call it situations every practice to where it's non-scripted. You're basically just calling it like a game. So I get, my moments with Joe on the mic there, but then in these types of games where we have more of a game plan, be able to hear the calls from him, not interject in his play calls, but like off the sideline, hey, we like this, hey, get to this, next first down, I like this call. To give him just some thoughts, By the time we get to real games, like, we're going to be so dialed that we know the next call. So I was listening to Joe, listening to our offensive staff communicate, again, talking through situations with them. Hey, Joe, you got 4 downs here. Hey, if you get to 3rd or 4th and 3, like, we're going to go for it. And then with Jay, just listening to his calls as well, and, trying to play the game in my mind. They practice their calls. Our players practice. Like, it's my job to practice being a head coach too. I didn't know the call on offense, but I saw the formation and I said, hey, they're going to naked here. And they ran a little bootleg. So being able to kind of go through that in my mind and give Jay any tips that I need to, that's good for us to hear. We have to have elite communication on game days. do not worry about the officials. Don't worry about anything. Just call the next play, the next play, the next play. Because if they're worried about some BS that doesn't matter, and if a call, whatever, all that's going to do is distract them from being their best on the next play. So it's my job to continue to preach that and demand that from our coordinators. And then I just like that view. I mean, I love the officials. They did a great job today. But if anybody gets near Kenny Minchey and Willie Rodriguez, I'm gonna blow that damn whistle. You know what I'm saying? So I had this very tight. That's right.
Last one.
Well, I'm just curious from what you saw this spring, what do you think about where the pass rush is and maybe how good you got from being in that area?
Yeah, I mean, like I said earlier, I thought the edges played well. I thought they affected the passers today pretty well. And I mean, I think Tavion wasn't out there, but Mike Keese he's a really good player. He's an NFL player. I think C.J. Work showed some stuff. And again, like just watch what Jay did before. Like we got some really good stuff, some really good packages that I think are gonna definitely disrupt offenses. I know it did, the offense this spring until we kind of figured out some stuff. So I'm excited about what he's doing on defense and excited what T-Dub's doing with those edge rushers and Anwar as well. So looking forward to the next couple months.
Okay, folks, thank you very much.
Thank y'all.
Appreciate it.
Just getting your first action in front of the
It was fun. Yeah, to be able to, put the jerseys on. They got us in the all black, so looked pretty good. But yeah, it was fun to come out here, hear the fans a little bit. It was exciting.
You were obviously down for your top receivers today, but just what we saw today, how does that translate to
Yeah, I would say, I think I mentioned it before, but we have a really deep wide receiver room, and I think that was on display today. We could have put the ball in their hands a little bit more from a quarterback standpoint, but yeah, I think on the team that I was on, it was probably all freshman wide receivers, and they can all go. So even with, like you mentioned, the older guys not playing today, there's still a lot of firepower, a lot of explosiveness from the wide receiver room.
There's not the coaches aren't shy about Willie Rodriguez's talent. He's talking about how he's an NFL player. Can you just talk about the connection that you guys have and kind of you guys showed it out there today? Can you just talk about the connection?
Yeah, me and Willie, we've gotten plenty of reps together throughout spring. So stacking days, starting from winter workouts, throwing on the weekends. I feel like we have a lot of good connection. And then, as spring has progressed, after each practice, after whether it be a play I threw to him or I didn't throw to him, we're always going up to each other, talking, being like, maybe on this play, if they do this, let's do this. And then, it's shown up over the, last half of spring ball. We've been, on fire. So.
Kenny, you saw you were able to kind of get away from some of the big guys. They caught you a few times as well. But talk a little bit about your legs. Are you a dual threat guy, maybe sneaky athletic? Kind of describe your game athletic-wise.
Yeah, I don't know if I would say dual threat. I don't know how I would describe it. But, yeah, I would just say, obviously, first a passer, but then I feel like I do have the athletic ability to, if a play breaks down or if, there's a guy in front of me, the ability to make a miss and just kind of, make a play happen.
How would you evaluate just learning this offense and how things went for you in the spring?
Yeah, there's a lot of, as y'all know, a lot of firepower in terms of the coaching staff, especially offensively. So, they built the offense. We all learned it progressively over the spring. It's a lot of plays, a lot of different nuances. We didn't show a whole bunch today, but trust me, there was a lot, and it took a lot of extra meetings with the coaches. Extra time spent at home looking over notes, pictures. But I would say, obviously, we're only 2 or 3 months in, but I feel like everyone's definitely got a really good grasp on the offense, and what we've worked on throughout the spring and heading into fall camp and into season, now it's just honing in on the details.
Entering into the spring, what did you prioritize as, like, I want to make sure I have this down pat by the spring game, and do you feel like you accomplished that?
The main thing, I wouldn't really say it was more so football. It was just connection, which is one of our DNA traits. Connection with, tight ends, wide receivers, O-line, running backs, making sure everyone's on the same page. Because if everyone's, doing the same thing right, generally it's good outcomes. So I would say connection with teammates, and then main thing was just kind of learning the offense. I feel like that was just the biggest obstacle as for everybody because everybody was new. So that was the biggest obstacle, just being able to learn the offense, translate it, and then, when a play is called, just being able to picture that in my mind and then go out and execute.
Kenny, can you break down how the touchdown run you had kind of unfolded through your eyes?
Yeah. So we had a little quick game concept, and then progressing to a deeper concept, and generally some teams in the SEC, like our team, they play a certain coverage down in the red zone where it's pretty hard to throw the football. So technically, the best play is a quarterback draw, and although we don't call it, it's kind of built in to where if the play doesn't work out, no one really has the quarterback. So being able to take off and utilize your legs in the red zone, the low red zone, against certain types of coverages are pretty viable. It's a pretty viable option. So just knowing that pre-snap, so it's like if that's not there, I know I can run the ball.
Was there any thought that you were maybe going to dive for the pylon at any point?
Probably not here in the spring game, but I feel like I had enough of a step on the guy who was chasing me to just kind of knock the pylon down. But if it's a game, the ball, definitely score that.
Having 15 days to work against Jay Bateman defense, what's it like from the quarterback's perspective? The looks you're seeing.
Yeah, they do a lot of stuff. In my previous school, we played Texas A&M twice, which is where obviously he came from, and I would say those were probably top three, if not the most difficult in terms of playing against, because against their defense you have to be really efficient post snap, and you got to confirm what you're seeing because they do a lot of stuff. They have a lot of nuances to their coverages, to their blitz packages, to their fronts, to their run game, knowing where we want to hit the ball, run ID. So being able to see that every single day, and then obviously we play Texas A&M this year too. So being able to see that every day in practice gives us a leg up, and then also it makes me a better quarterback because there's other defenses out there where, from a quarterback standpoint, it's a little bit easier to read and you feel a little bit more confident. But obviously against Bateman's defense, you got to be on your toes.
Kenny, when Coach Stein today talked to us, he said if you're good enough, you're old enough to play. When he was talking about Kenny Darby, and you said you played with a lot of the freshmen this spring. How good is he, and how bright is his future? You guys seem like you targeted him a lot today, and in the one-on-ones he makes some really good plays.
Yeah, he's a really good player. You guys saw it today, and if you guys seen any of the other practices, he's really shifty, really athletic. He's just a baller. He just, you put the ball in his hands, he could take it to the crib from 70, 80 yards. So I would say, him being a young player, and we have a few of those on the offensive side of the ball, young players, but especially Kenny. He can create space, he can burn you, and he's also just super explosive.
Kenny, what is your impression of Bequeath Humphrey?
On who?
Bequeath Humphrey.
He's really good. I think he might have got me today once or twice, but he's a really good player. And obviously, while you're on the field, you're not really thinking about, who do they have on defense. But it definitely shows up on film. And after the first few practices, whenever we were hitting and actually, guys were fitting the box and trying to tackle and stuff, he shows up. He's a really good player. We have a lot of really good defensive linemen.
Coach Stein said he got emotional running out of the tunnel today. Did you sense that from him? And then just as you've gotten to know him better, since you got to what would you describe his personality?
Obviously, I can't be in his head, but I know he's at the very beginning. He touched on his background and what being in this position means to him, with him being from Kentucky. So I feel like that's pretty. I would expect that kind of out of him. But what was the second part of the question?
Just his personality as you've gotten to know him, what kind of coach?
Yeah, he's a very. I don't know if players coach is the word, but he's very relatable. He connects to a lot of his players, whether that be in the middle of practice, like hands-on coaching, whether that be after practice coming, pulling guys aside, talking to them about certain reps, situational football, whether that be in the lunchroom. He's sitting down with the players, just eating lunch, kind of casual. I'd say he's very relatable, and I think it's super beneficial, especially for young guys coming in, to have a coach who they can actually go up and talk to, as opposed to a coach who, is resentful is not the word, but just doesn't really talk to their players and kind of like puts himself on, a pretty big pedestal. And it's like, it's me and then it's everyone else. I feel like he integrates himself into everybody else with also still holding his position.
Okay, folks. I'm sorry, last one.
Kenny, without Lance hurt today, how do you think your offensive line played in front of you?
I think they played good. Obviously, no one played perfect today across the board, me included. So everyone has stuff to fix. But I feel like we have some really, really good offensive linemen, and I think that'll show for sure in the fall.
Okay, folks, thank you very much. Time. Is the audio good enough? Was everybody getting the audio on the cameras? Everybody's good? Okay. Okay, questions for Ty?
Well, how do you grade you guys coming out of spring? Where do you feel like you're at?
I feel like we take a lot of steps forward. Obviously, I don't feel like we're anywhere where we need to be for the season, but I think we've taken so many steps forward, and especially with it being a new system for everyone. Man, I'm proud of the guys, and everyone knows that we got to get back into our playbook. And this week we got workouts, but still just doing a little bit extra just to get 1% better every day. But yeah, I'm proud of the guys for real.
You were a leader last year on the team. Of course, in the senior, some of the guys held over from last staff. How does the leadership in the locker room from some of the top players look different maybe than last year?
I think, if I'm being honest, I think we had a lot of good leaders last year. I really do. But I think this year it's about like being a little bit more vocal, and holding everyone to the same standard. Like if our locker's dirty, you're gonna have to tell your person that the locker's dirty. Like there is no more, that's my friend, so I'm gonna let him slide, or oh, he's just having a bad day. Nah, like it don't matter what's going on. You have to tell them that their locker's dirty and to clean up, because it's the little things like that. Little things amount to big things. So I think that's the difference this year.
Talked about the new system and everything. What is it like being coached by Jay Bateman, and what is he providing to the group and to you as one of the older guys on the team?
Man, that boy, he provides energy, a lot of energy. Every single day we step into the meeting room, a lot of energy, and I love playing for him, man. I played for a great DC before in Brad White, but I can honestly say that this is another great guy that I'm playing for with Jay Bateman. And I love his scheme, everything he lets me do. He lets me roam, he lets me go make tackles and make plays on the ball, which, at the end of the day, I want the ball in my hands on defense. So, but yeah, he's a great guy, man, and I think that's what he brings the most. He brings a lot of intelligence to the game. He teaches us a lot of nitbits and stuff like that, and yeah, I love playing for him, for real.
And then on the other side, what's it like going against the Joe Sloan, Will Stein offense in practice, and guys like Kenny and everyone trying to make plays against you?
A lot of explosive plays, for sure. A lot of explosive plays, a lot of misdirection as well. And it's good to see that, because we're going to face a lot of good teams that have not the same scheme, but similar schemes in the fall. So it's always great to see like a high-power offense that, could move down the field at will if they really wanted to. So, we got to buck up and stop them.
How does it feel different as a defensive player playing for an offensive-minded head coach now versus the defensive head coach you played for years ago?
Nah, not really. Not really. I love Coach Stoops, but Coach White, he usually ran a lot of the defense. So, it's the same way here. Coach Stein, he's involved with both sides of the ball, but obviously it's Coach Bateman calling the shots on defense. So, yeah.
So your linebacker group in front of you playing is kind of young. Just talk about how they have, performed this spring.
Man, first I got to give a big shout out to Grant Godfrey. He's a guy who, throughout the years, he came in the same year as I came in, but he's been a guy who's been kind of under the radar the past few years, but he's taken a tremendous step when it comes to leadership and just his knowledge of the game, and he makes everything easier for us too in the back end, because obviously I don't got all the answers, and sometimes they come out in a certain formation, you might get stumped, but Grant, he's right there with me, and we piggyback off each other, and he got great energy. So that's a guy that we're really counting on this year, and I can't wait to see the steps he continues to take. But I think for everyone in the linebacker room though, I'm proud of them. Like I said, they're light years from where we first started spring ball day one, and obviously I don't think anyone on the defense is there yet, but they've definitely taken a few steps up, and it's just a maturity thing. At the end of the day, they're all young, but when you step on that field on Saturday, there is no young and old. It's, we're playing college football. So, yeah, they just got to mature a little bit more.
Time when they switched Martell's from safety to running back, are you a little bit jealous?
Nah, I wasn't jealous. I wasn't jealous at all. But I did tell him on an honest note, like, you live in a lot of people's dream. And, like, obviously, me coming in from high school, that's what I wanted to do. And my high school coach, Coach Landon, he was my DB coach, but, he drilled that in my head, like, you go over there on defense, do your thing, then they switch you to offense, then you can get to play both. But, yeah, I told him honestly, like, you living out a lot of people's dream. A lot of people love to be able to tote that rock and go on defense and make plays on there. So, I mean, I just told him that he has to capitalize. And I was proud of him today. He was running the ball hard, so I was proud of him for sure.
Ty, you talked about that maturity a little bit. There was a play in the second quarter. Antoine had a big tackle.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty fired up after that. It'd be easy to say in the spring that, hey, it's spring, we're not doing our best tackle. What do you say about this group that you guys are getting fired up and getting a lot of pride?
Man, I think that's big because it just translates to the fall at the end of the day. Like, those are tackles that we're going to need him to make. And I remember talking to Rye, number 20 on the sideline, and we were just talking about that play, and he was like, like, the fact that he made the tackle and got up, amped up, like, that's exactly what we need, and we need him to stay consistent. That guy, he got a lot of talent, Antoine Smith. He can run, he can jump, he's really fast and physical. He just got to apply himself, and, things like that, that's what we need, just for him to make big tackles and just get himself going. So, but I'm proud of him, too. He's taking a lot of great steps forward in the right direction. We just needed to get him to continue to grow. And yeah, I think the linebacker room is going to be really, really good, especially being under Coach Bateman.
Ty, tell us something new that you learned today.
We're going to be really good. Well, I mean, I've been knowing that, but like it kind of today just confirmed it. And I don't know, something that I learned today. I wouldn't even say I really learned too much. It's just a lot of things were just confirmed. We got a really great offense that can move the ball down the field. We got a defense that bend don't break defense, and we're gonna keep people out the end zone. We got a great fan base, obviously. I mean, we had a lot of people show up today, and it was supposed to rain. They knew that, and they still showed up for us. So that was amazing. But yeah.
What are you most excited about this new defense and how it used to be?
Blitzmore, most definitely. I have not got a sack yet in my collegiate career. In high school, it took me to my senior year to get a sack too, but I'm hoping to come away with a few sacks this year. So that's exactly what I'm happy about.
There was a moment on the sideline where you're surrounded by your former guys that are now in the pros, making a name for themselves. Just talk about how special it is for them to come back and support you and the team as you all have this transition and as you go into your senior year.
Man, that's big, man. Like, obviously, seeing those guys on the sideline, I was the young buck when they were playing on the team, and now it's like I'm the big dog now. You know what I'm saying? They're coming back. But yeah, I just love that, man. The fact that they still show up, even though they didn't play for this staff, they still show up and support us. And I mean, they could be doing anything on a Saturday. Especially most of them are in workouts right now, but they flew back just to support us. It means the world to me, and just being able just to stand there with them and chop it up and ask them questions about what they're going through, them ask me questions about what I'm going through. It just means the world to me, and I love those guys for real.
Couple more.
Yeah, Coach Stein was talking about being able to stay in the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Are you pretty good at that?
What are some secrets of being able to do that?
Secrets, I don't know if I can provide you with any. Just breathe. I feel like I struggle with that too, because I feel like as a human, it's so easy just to get caught up in like the future, like what's going to happen if this happens, or a lot of what ifs. But I think at the end of the day, it's just continue just to remind yourself to press the reset button and just be where your feet are, because you're never going to have this opportunity again in your life. And I mean, I think so many people get so caught up about the future that they forget about the present, and next thing you know, the present's gone, and you looking back like, dang, that was a great time in my life.
What have you learned about Coach Stein?
He got a lot of energy. He brings the energy every day. Every time he walked into the building, he got energy, and I love that. He walked into the team meeting room, and he'd be in there bobbing his head to the music, singing the music and stuff like that. But I also learned he a guy who loves to compete. He's not even out there, and he's like, you couldn't tell that if you was to see him, you would think that he's putting on shoulder pads and helmets, like about how he wants to get after it and compete, and I love that. And something else, I think that he does a really good job of not letting anyone like slack off, no matter who you are. Like one time I came out here and I didn't have my jersey on, and he was like on the mic, the big mic, Ty Bryant, put your jersey on. Like, he don't care. You know what I'm saying? And, I like that. It takes me back to, like, how my dad used to run things. He don't care who you are or how you feel about it. He going to tell you about yourself. So, yeah, I enjoy that about him.
What's it been like learning a new playbook? You're learning all these new people, all these new coaches. It's a lot being thrown at you.
Absolutely. But I think it's a blessing though. It's a blessing just to have everyone here. And just to learn a new playbook, because I mean, ball is ball, and the more that I know, the better I can be for the next level. So that's kind of what I thought about it a little bit. When I was making my decision on what I really wanted to do, I remember talking to someone, and they was like, you know, if you can show that you can thrive in multiple defenses, that just makes you 10 times better for the next level. So yeah, that's my answer for like the playbook. But for the people, I mean, you know, it's just I view myself as a friendly person, a person that you can talk to about anything. So, I mean, I just go up to people and just, you know, talk to them and get to know them. Because as a leader as well, I feel like the way that you lead people, you actually have to build a good relationship with them. You know, because I might yell at a person and it might, like, you know, trigger them, like, and they might go out there and play their best game, but I might also yell at someone else and they get in their feelings. So just having a good relationship with them. And with the coaching staff, I think they do a really great job of just like opening themselves up and, you know, wanting to learn their players. What obviously, like as a coach, you have to do, but I think they do a fantastic job with doing that. So, yeah.
Okay, folks, thank you very much. Appreciate you.